Ever wonder if Messi's treatment as a child boosted his path to becoming the football GOAT we know today? As a sports coach and researcher for over a decade, I've learned a lot about what makes top performers. So in this video, I'll share what happened to Messi as a child, how it helped him become the GOAT, and what you can do to improve your own athletes. Many people don't realise that Lionel Messi, one of football's greatest legends, faced a huge disadvantage as a child. He wasn't growing properly. Messi's body wasn't producing enough growth hormone, and without treatment, he would have stayed unusually small, limiting his chances of playing professional football. But sometimes, our biggest challenges become our greatest strengths. Messi's medical condition forced him to adapt, shaping him into the uniquely gifted player we admire today. Growing up, I was always the small kid on the football team. Despite being born in October, making me one of the oldest people in my year group, I was short, skinny, weak, and all the other boys grew up way faster than me. Defending against the huge attackers that were always put up front felt like running into a brick wall sometimes. Being shorter, I had to pick the right time to jump up and head the ball, otherwise they would just stand there and win the ball. Sure, being faster was an advantage, but one slight nudge and I was flung to the floor. On top of that, being half deaf didn't really help me either, but that was a communication issue. I had to find different solutions because of my size. When Messi was young, playing in the park, he was asked by Salvador Aparicio to join his football practice. Initially, Messi's mum said no, because he was too small, the ball going up to his knees, but his grandma encouraged him to join in anyway. Even without growth hormone treatment at this point, Messi had already developed his own creative ways of overcoming this size disadvantage. Playing football with his family had taught him to see the game differently, to find solutions others might overlook. And this is exactly what we can learn from Messi's story. Instead of judging players solely on their size or strength, observe how they use the ball. Watch how they read the game. Notice how they interact with teammates and opponents. When evaluating or coaching a player, adjust the level of challenge to develop the whole person, not just someone who fits a certain physical mold. Through the early years, despite Messi's size, he excelled playing football for a team now known as the Machine of 87. In his first game for the Newell's Old Boys team, he scored 4 of the 6 goals to win 6-0. But eventually, after these sampling years of playing sport, everyone has to choose if they want to focus on one sport or multiple sports. During my time working with some academy rugby players, I remember one in particular. He had chosen rugby early on, his head coach and parents all supporting him, getting him to this great academy team. Then, one day in the gym, while I was doing my strength and conditioning master's degree, I noticed something wasn't right with him. We talked about it and we moved on. The next month, similar situation, but the third time I decided to dig a little bit deeper into the issue. Knowing research shows over 80% of athletes hide injuries from their coaches, it turns out he had felt off about his knee for about 2 weeks before I first noticed an issue, but he continued to train like he wasn't injured anyway. Injuries from overtraining or overuse happens when people don't rest, recover, and don't monitor their training load. And there is a greater risk when you add growth into the mix. If we now think about Messi having growth hormone deficiency, his growth timings were very different. The medical treatment didn't just help him grow, but also reduced the risk of injury. But I think most significantly, Messi, his parents, his doctors, and his club coaches' awareness of his physical load was heightened. Evidence suggests doing different training, not repetitive movements, helps avoid overuse injuries, but monitor how much someone is training in hours. Add some low, medium, or high effort labels to try and avoid doing too much and accept that performance decreases during rest and recovery are normal. Long-term athlete development spans years. Now, when we look back at the Machine of 87, they won a lot. The Newell's Boys team didn't really want Messi to leave. He was their star. Knowing Messi didn't score many headers, his coach once playfully dared him to score a header during the match. Now, during the next game, Messi didn't just deliver. He dribbled the ball past the opponent's goalkeeper, flicked the ball up and headed the ball in the goal. Probably not what the coach had in mind, but Messi solved the problem. However, at 13, Messi faced a bigger challenge. He started his medical treatment, which wasn't cheap, costing around $1,000 a month. With Nors having stopped one transfer to another team and already having some friction with Messi's family, the family claiming the club hadn't paid enough for the medical treatment, the family took a gamble. They told the football team Messi had pneumonia and couldn't train for 3 weeks. In reality, he was trialling for Barcelona, a team that could both pay for the medical treatment but also give Messi a bigger challenge. Unfortunately, Barcelona doubted Messi, much like his mum as a child, for being too small. That's when Carles, the person who found Messi and helped him to the Barcelona trials, took the place of his grandma from all those years ago. Carles used a napkin to write a contract signing Messi to Barcelona. Nors had let Messi go after the trial gamble, so this napkin not only saved Messi's career, but has shaped football history. Messi played friendlies with the B team, training just like an academy player, despite all the legal complications. But then he broke his leg, putting him out for an entire season. But Messi wasn't finished. After recovery, Messi was determined to keep going, becoming the first player to play for 5 different team levels in the same year. At 16, he played for the under-19Bs, under-19s, C team, B team, and even the first team. Ironically, it was the very people tasked with nurturing and guiding young talent, the coaches, who often held Messi back, unaware they were witnessing the rise of a legend. Think of the player's development before the team results. Sometimes that means encouraging a player to go elsewhere. Assess players' ability, not their size, and create challenging problems for the player to solve. Everyone wants to try hard and have fun, but fun is actually quite complicated. In this video, I share the coaching tricks that helped keep training fun for Magnus Carlsen while he beat everyone else around his age.